Well, it's definitely been a while since I've uploaded something. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers since my last video uploaded, and so I just want to say thank you to everyone that's joined the channel, and hopefully we'll bring you some interesting content. Today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind recently, and I think some of you might be going through the same thing I'm going through right now with the economy the way it is, and the pandemic affecting the production of the trucks, and the computer chip shortages, and just shortages of everything, really. Anything really that ships from anywhere, it's really hard to get a hold of parts and pieces and equipment right now, especially electronics and vehicles. So there seems to be a limited supply, right? So something that seems to be happening is that the prices of used vehicles seem to be really holding their value well, and not only that, but skyrocketing, really, depending on what vehicle you have. It seems that with the specialty colors of the TRD Pros in particular, that the demand outweighs the supply. So there seems to be an issue with supply and demand, especially when it comes to the TRD Pro models of the Tundra. So you've got the Cement, the Army Green, and the new Lunar Rock, and the Voodoo Blue seem to be the more popular trucks right now. If you go online and look, some of these trucks are fetching over $60,000, and I've seen people advertise where they are actually asking over 70, 75,000, over 80,000 in some cases. I think depending on what you've done to your vehicle, you could probably ask a little more, but I don't think anything warrants $80,000. So this is where the discussion comes into play, what to do if you're in this situation. I personally am pretty attached to my Army Green TRD Pro, and this is what we're driving here today. And I've done a lot of updates to it, and I feel attached to this vehicle, but money does talk. And so what would it take to get you out of your truck? Do you have a newer model Tundra? Do you have a TRD Pro that you thought about maybe selling while the prices are up like they are right now? You know, the situation where you can actually make money on a vehicle within 1 or 2 years doesn't come along very often. It's pretty rare, and some people want to take advantage of that. I've seen some of these trucks going with only 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles on them. It's pretty crazy. But with that said, I've thought about maybe putting this truck on the market. Well, what would I ask for it? And what would I honestly expect to get? And not only that, but once you have sold your vehicle, what do you do at that point? Because anything you may want to move into, especially if you're looking at another truck or large SUV, is going to be marked up just as high, even new. So it's hard to say what you should do at this point. Then I've considered putting this truck on the market, seeing if it sells. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't cost me much except a little bit of cash to list the truck, and I would want to list it nationally. So one of the things you could probably do in this situation would be just to kind of ride the market out. If you did need another vehicle, you sell your Tundra, make some money, you would probably need to look at leasing something. I've thought about maybe, if I was able to sell this, I would look at leasing maybe a Tacoma or one of the new Nissan Frontiers. And that way you're not, locked into anything, you're not stuck with anything. You could try a vehicle that you maybe don't know much about and you wouldn't really consider owning. But if you leased it, I think the lease payments right now, you're looking at maybe somewhere between $3,000 to $4,000 down, and around $220 a month for leasing something like a Tacoma or a Frontier. You could, lease a vehicle that maybe you wouldn't typically want to own. So like if you want to try owning, like to see what the Ford EcoBoost is about or something like that, that gives you an opportunity to try that vehicle without getting stuck with it, right? So at the end of the lease, you hand it back and the deal is over, right? I think for $50 to list this in a national ad where it's accessible all over the country, sure, why not, right? Why not try to see what happens? List it a little high and just see if you get any traction at all, any interest at all. And if you do, then maybe you work with somebody. And that brings up another point. With the new model releases coming out of the Tundra, new engine options, the twin turbo V6, possibly a twin turbo V8, a redesigned TRD Pro, we don't know what's going to happen. So this is all a gamble, right? So basically you're gambling the fact that you will never be able to own the vehicle that you own right now. If you've got a Lunar Rock TRD Pro or a Army Green TRD Pro, the 5.7 liter V8, you have that latest model year with the V8 in it, and that is never happening again. And so your chances of being able to buy that same truck back in 2 more years or 3 more years when the market corrects, I don't know that you can. You might be able to, but I think the odds are against you. So you have to take that into consideration, that if you give up this truck now, you're only going to be able to move forward. You're only going to be able to buy a newer model, or maybe you buy if you want to get back into an older model Tundra with a V8, you might have to look at a Limited or an SR5 or whatever it is. You may not be able to find a Pro or a Ford one, because I don't know what happens. Does the price point of these vehicles go up or down after these new models come out? And so that's the gamble that you take. So let me know what you think, guys. Are you in the same situation as me, where you're thinking about making some money on your Pro while you can? I really have an attachment to this truck. I love it. So it's going to be hard for me to part with it if I ever need to. But I just wanted to run that by you guys, see what your thoughts were. If you're in the same situation, let me know what you would do. What are you doing? Are you just going to hold on to your vehicle and see if, once the market corrects, this truck right now is worth $62,000 to $64,000. In 6 months or 8 months, it might only be worth $45,000. So that's, it's $15,000 to $20,000. So let me know what you think, guys. Would you sell your TRD Pro right now, especially if it was like one of the unique year colors, like Army Green or Lunar Rock or Voodoo Blue? Cement. Would you let it go just to make some cash and then just go drive whatever you can get your hands on? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you subscribing and watching the channel. I've got some stuff coming up this summer. I know I haven't posted very much recently, but I got some things to upload. I got some things that I've been editing, so hopefully that all comes together real soon. Thank you, and see you on the road.